Holy crap, that's a lot of people. Oh my god, this is going to be good. Right, I mean, he's know the house rules by now, the flash photography and such. Please don't let Finn flash you lot. I know what he's like, okay? I'm only joking. It's going to be a good panel today. We have 4 excellent guests from Game of Thrones. So if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, please leave the room. I'm only kidding, guys. Right, I want you guys to be the loudest crowd of the weekend. I know it's late on a Sunday. I know some of you are probably still hungover from last night. But we want to go out with a bash. It is the final panel. So if there's any Game of Thrones fans in the house, please make some noise. Yeah, I'm going down to Sheffield and I'm going to brag about that, okay? So you've given me a scope. Okay. So if they're rubbish, I will come back next year and say, I do rubbish, okay? Let's get the guests on the stage. Please welcome first, Clive Russell. Doesn't he look smart? I feel underdressed. Okay, and now, yeah, we'll get some glam on the stage. Please welcome Kate Dickey.
Hello. Yeah, hello, Glasgow.
You're all safe across.
Okay, next on stage, I think some ladies might just go a little bit more mental than the guys here. It's Finn Jones! Okay, now I want to do that. We tried this yesterday and it was absolutely shocking, okay? I want to get this chant going because this guy is a massive cult favourite in Game of Thrones. Okay, now I want you all to join in because if I just do it, it's just going to look stupid, alright? Hold on, hold on. Hold up, 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 hold up. It's Christian there.
Hey guys.
Was that better than yesterday, Christian? Was that?
No, it's shit. No, you're better than yesterday, thank you.
It's all these flashes going off. I kind of feel like one is the pose and stuff. You know, it's as well give me some funny photos. I want photo bomb and everything. I know we used to, like I was at London when you used did the Charlie's Angels with Dan Portman.
What's this?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, guys, saying if you do have questions, please raise your hands, keep them up. I know it sounds like your arm will get sore and stuff, and it does, but it means I can see your arm and get the mics to you, as many of you as possible, okay? Flash photography, yeah, I'll use that. Hey, flash photography, okay, guys, this is a little bit of audience participation again. We count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop the flashing.
Ripped the stage to take off.
Okay, folks, it's a Q&A. Who has questions? I'm sure there's loads of fans will come to you first, sir. Any more questions? Yeah, okay, as well. Let's hop in the front. This is easy.
Could the panel tell us what they did for their audition for Game of Thrones?
I can start. I did my scene where Caitlin and Tyrion come, my very first scene that was in Series 1, and I did that audition, quite a straightforward audition, and that was it really. It was quite a simple one. I did that scene through and that was it. So.
I tried to be very tall, and they seemed to like it, and I did the scene with Caitlin where immediately after her dad's funeral, where I was sympathetic yet firm. Cruel but fair, cheery but violent.
I did a scene that wasn't in, it was a scene that was going to be in season 3, so it was really weird. I was doing a scene from season 3, even though it was for season 1 I was being cast for. And it was a scene where I was in the throne room with a bunch of white cloaks confronting Brienne about Renly's death.
This is my usual spelling.
Okay, mine was slightly different. I had auditioned for a movie 5 years in advance, A Hot Fuzz, and the casting director gave me a call back, believe it or not, 5 years later, and I had to find a random child. Sounds strange in this day and age, not in a Jimmy Savile type way. But I went to a 40th birthday party. It's not a natural test to find a child. So my agent at the time took me to a 40th birthday party where he knew there was a suitably sized child, and I carried him around the garden with a ring of 40-year-olds around me, and they all sort of positioned themselves in different parts of the garden and shouted "Hoder" at me, and I had to react in all these different ways, and then I lifted them a mahogany table.
So I was really traumatised.
Yeah, I was traumatised never mind the child. And then that was it really, I got the part.
Hello. Hi. My question just was, what's the funniest thing that's happened on set?
The funniest thing that's happened on set, it was probably, I have to do it, it was probably during my nude scene. Funny / tragic. I'll just do this quickly because it's a long story. It was supposed to be a closed set. It wasn't. There was like 200 people there. They made me this horrible prosthetic penis thong, and it was sort of planted into my own pubic hair, and it was sort of glued in. The glue was there for 2 weeks after I took it off. And, I went on to set. It was raining, and the generators kept going down. I was crouched in a bush with this G-string on, and every time I came out of the bush, there were 2 pheasants. Are there children here? Put your hand up for your child. Okay, hi. Okay. There were 2 pheasants that loved each other very much, and they wanted to get together and make sweet music. And every time I came out of the bush, they would start calling to each other, and they were like, noise. So I had to keep resetting. It went on for hours, and it was the worst day of my life. But it was also quite funny.
The funniest thing I was involved with was the firing of the arrow at the funeral of Caitlyn's father, which, when you look at it, looks quite spectacular because we're both firing arrows, one of us not very well. The truth was that neither of us could fire an arrow of a bow. So every time you pulled it back, it would fall off your thumb into the water. You'd let go and it would fall on your knee, and it was hilarious. I mean, it looks really good, but actually we probably did 2 between us out of 40 attempts. Twice got the arrow to go more than 15 feet. It sounds funny, but nobody was laughing at the time. Certainly not the director.
They never do. It's always really awkward.
Oh, come on!
I don't know if I've got funny stories, probably just quite awkward with the breastfeeding in the first series. And meeting my son and having to do that scene, it was quite awkward, and he was brilliant, but I felt, it was a slightly strange thing to be doing, and I had to get the milk out of his mouth, and I was just like, oh no! I just felt he was going to be in therapy for years after. But when I saw him last season, he was fine, he seemed to. I just think if he did that in Glasgow as a young boy and then went to school, I just think he'd never survive. So I didn't really have any funny. Oh, it was quite fun doing the noises when Littlefinger and I were supposed to be making love and Santa's in the other room. And, but it wasn't like I'd done in private. I had to stand the same as you and kind of stand in the middle of a room with like 200 people standing, facing them, kind of going, woo, woo, and I just thought, I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, it's more just kind of awkward moments than funny moments. Like, every time I have to get naked, it's just so embarrassing. You have these like little penis pouches, you'd call them, and you just have to kind of tie it on. You're just stuck in this room. There's the guy that plays Oliver. You're just like, this is so embarrassing. There's a crew of 50 people. You're just like, there's nowhere to hide.
my question is for Christian. Hello. Hold on. Hello.
There you are.
Your lines consist of the same word over and
Yes.
over. Do you feel like this simplifies your job, or does it pose more challenges in that you need to do more with less?
Well, I mean, I literally every day hear the same thing said. I mean, you've either got the hardest job in acting or the easiest job. It just depends. It depends on the scene. Like, you have to convey complicated emotions with body language. We all do it as well. You know, we all do that as part of acting. But I only have body language to rely on. It can be challenging, but you know, sometimes it's easier. Like, it's just a straight up scene with not too heavy. It's fine. But I mean, most scenes in Game of Thrones are pretty complex and pretty heavy, so it can be a challenge. But I love it. You know, that's pretty
Thank
cool.
you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I was wondering if you could push anybody ever, out of the moon door, who would it be? And why?
Thank you. I think I would maybe push my son, which sounds horrible. But he's a very annoying little boy in the series, and I don't know if I would cope with him. He's so lovely in real life, but I think if it was a character, I'd maybe push Robin, which is quite hard.
It's a question for all of us. Charles Dance.
It's a hard question. But even the characters you don't like, I think I like.
What's that son of Bruce Bolton?
Oh yeah.
Ramsay Snow.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dodgy one.
He's a nasty piece of work, especially in season 5. It was horrible. Pushing up.
Okay, no question there. Yep.
Any advice to someone wanting to become an extra on the show?
And how?
Pardon?
Sorry.
Any advice to becoming an extra on the show, or how you'd get there?
Yeah, contact
Just apply.
XNI.
Just put a word in.
Yeah.
It's really boring though. I wouldn't do it. It's really boring. You just stand around all day. It's not glamorous.
Get wet.
You get wet, yeah.
Live in Scotland, it's fine.
It's not fun.
Any more questions out there, folks? I did actually talk to Born about being a heckler from the stage, but, the audience, but that was just so much better. Oh, that was fun. Honestly, I didn't think he was going to be able to do that or that. Okay, any more questions out there, folks? Any more? Okay, right down the front again, slide and mic along. It's like, honestly, it's like pass the parcel, I just need some good music.
You got my mic? Will it reach?
There we go. No, it's gone. No.
What was your favourite scenes to shoot?
Is that a general question?
I think the lead up to the Red Wedding was my favourite, the whole 3 days. I mean, I wasn't there when it completely kicked off because I'd gone for a pee on a tree, but the whole build up to it was terrific to me, really well.
I like doing the lemon cakes one with Sansa because I just was so creepy in it and being so sweet, and then turning on her and saying things like, "Oh, you're going to be a widow soon," and yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I loved working with her as well. So it was a lot of fun. No, she's misunderstood. But I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed the one with Aidan when he said, "Oh, let me prepare," and I was already ready for the night. That was fun as well.
I always really enjoy the big scenes when there's a whole bunch of the cast and crew together. It's always nice to kind of get everyone together and do these big scenes. It's nice when people hang out. So probably.
I really enjoyed the new scene that was created in season 4, the Craster's Keep scene, where I broke the guy's neck. That was a lot of fun. It was.
Did you have a question as well, or was it just? Yeah. Hey, what? There's someone right back there. Who else is it? Oh, they've got a mic down there as well. Okay, we'll come to there, and then we'll go along there, and then we'll come up to yourself, alright?
My questions were why. I know that the storyline from the book for what happens with the Blackfish and Jamie is not going to be the same, but will we be seeing Brendan Tully again in season 5?
I'd really like to think so, but I rather doubt it. But it's got a few more years to go yet, so maybe it will come back. Certainly hope so.
Well, let's pass the mic along there. There we go.
If you could be another character in the show, who would it be and why?
I would be Jon Snow, because he's young, vigorous, good-looking, and all of that. And he rides horses and fights people. Great part.
I would be Brienne, because I just get into drag, really, you know. I mean, we share a wardrobe. We're both pretty tall. But I think she's an amazing character. Gwen does a great job. I don't think I'm really better than Gwen, but I think it's a great part.
I really enjoyed the arc of Theon. He's turned from Theon to Reed. I think Alfred does it so wonderfully. I really enjoyed that kind of arc, going to misunderstood to kind of demented, and then hopefully, you know, coming back out of that, becoming a hero maybe.
I love Maisie's character, Arya. I think I'd quite like to be her because she's very cool and she's strong and she's got guts. She looks like she'd be a fun character to play.
Okay, yep, young lady up there.
There were a lot of weddings on the show. This is a German.
So many weddings. Huh?
What was your favourite?
Yeah, what was your favourite wedding on the show?
Ooh, good question. Again, the weddings are really boring to do. You're just standing around for ages, just like days and days and days. I really enjoyed Joffrey's wedding. That was fun. Just because it was in Croatia, he wasn't stuck in this studio in Belfast, so he actually had the sun, and it was really close to the sea as well. So, yeah. But it was long. That was 5 days it took to film that.
I like the Red Wedding just because of the shock and horror. But in fact, what I enjoyed watching more was the YouTube clips of reactions to the Red Wedding, where people must have read the books, but then their pals hadn't or something, and they videoed it. It was brilliant. But I like the wedding, just for all the shock that came out of it.
Just for the sake of saying something different, I enjoyed Daenerys' wedding to Drogo, because that's as far as I ever read in the books. It's really didn't start, isn't it? Yeah, I got to the wedding, I was like, nah. But I was able to compare it to the book up to that stage, so I enjoyed that wedding.
I think the preamble to the Red Wedding was the part of the Red Wedding I enjoyed when we arrived at the house and David Bradford was such an arse. And he incidentally had to introduce his daughters to us, who all, it was like Mara, Mora, Mera, Myra, Mudu, Mada, Modo, and Modo, or whatever it was. And he had to do it 75 times, and he never got it wrong once. It was sensational. And he was so horrible in the build-up to that, right the way through. Fantastic.
Question from the gentleman right on the back there. Yep.
My question is, who do you think will eventually win the Game of Thrones?
Personally, I want to see Bran on the Iron Throne. I think once he's grown up and he's learned how to walk a little bit better and he's got better people around him, I think I think that kid's got big things coming for him.
Morgan a little bit better.
Yeah, like walk into a
Did
dragon.
pretty well.
No, but like being able to walk a dragon and having those at his command, as well as maybe teaming up with someone like Tyrion and having a good counsel around him as well.
Well, I think knowing George, I think that the throne is going to be completely unimportant. Towards the end, I don't think it's going to matter who's on the throne.
Well, actually, because also in season 2, you have this flash forward of Daenerys walking through the throne room, and it's all in pieces. So I think you're right. I think
I'm always right.
God, I don't have a clue. I quite like what you're saying about Bran, actually. I love Bran.
I think everybody will be killed except Blackfish Tully.
Okay, the gentleman right over there.
Yep. If there was one character you could bring back, give him all the kill-offs, who would it be?
For me, it would be Caitlin. It's a really fantastic character, brilliantly played. It's a fully rounded woman, strong and vulnerable and everything. She was amazing.
Caitlin was a favourite of mine as well. And the Hound. Love the Hound.
I'm not going to say Ned Stark because I think Sean gets bumped in. I think, you know, obviously it was important the way he died so early, but I would like to see more from the character. There's such an amazing character. Just want to, even to see like a different, to like sliding doors, see how things would have happened if he didn't die. But yeah, Ned Stark for me.
Yeah, I think Caitlin. Or maybe Joffrey, that'd be quite nice to have him back. Maybe an undead Joffrey, man, that would be crazy. Yeah. Or maybe he'd come back really good, like really like angelic. Oh yeah, let's have Joffrey come back as an angel and like help out the Starks.
Well, I think the Hound's presumed dead, am I right? I haven't read the book, so do forgive me if I'm wrong, but at the end of the scene he's just presumed dead. So you don't know, he could be back.
Dead in the book.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions right down the front here. I'm going to get game show music for the next show. This is. There we go.
I just think your character would do on
I think he'd do alright. Okay. Yeah, I don't think he'd be terrible. I think he's quite loyal. And he's strong, and I think he's got a good head on him as well. I think he needs support. I think he needs to grow up a little bit. I think when he's older, he might be a little bit better. I think with Marjorie and certainly his grandmother, I think all three Tyrells would be quite good on the throne. I think the only thing they'd come in, I think once the supernatural elements come in, and I don't think they know what to do with like white walrus and dragons, but in politics and the economy, I think they'd make great leaders.
Aside from Hodor's loyalty, there's going to have to be some major spiritual or actual lobotomy involved in him being a good ruler. But I think he does have good qualities. I know that people say, oh, I'd love to see Hodor in the answer, but I don't think where he is at the minute he would be a great ruler. No.
I think Blackfish would be a wise old ruler who would bring people together, be patient and understanding, and inevitably he would be killed the next series.
Oh, Liza would be a disaster. Oh no, she would just be terrible. And there would be nobody left in her kingdom, she'd have killed them all, so I don't think Liza would be great on the Iron Throne at all. I think she takes things too personally and she's too mucked up, and yeah, it would be a disaster.
Wait, another question right down the front.
If you could work with anyone on Game of Thrones to come on the show, like anyone at all, like who would it be and why?
You've stumped.
I think Matthew McConaughey would be quite amazing to have him on the show. I don't know if anyone's seen True Detective, but he's absolutely amazing in it. And a chance to work with him, or for him even to be in the same show as I was, would be pretty mind-blowing.
I'd like to work with Harry Dean Stanton, because he looks like he's something out of Game of Thrones to start with, and he's a great actor. Unless he's dead. He's not dead, is he?
I think he's still alive.
I think if there were any roles for Maesters, a new Maester, I think Ian McKellen would be amazing. I would love to work with Ian McKellen. He's been my hero, so I would definitely choose him.
It could be like the Dragon Tamer or something.
I don't know, I'm rubbish at these questions, put in the spot, I'm like, who would I get, like it's really happening. God, I don't know. I mean, if Joaquin Phoenix could come, I would like him. Oh God, I'm terrible at these questions.
He would be good like a Ramsay Snow type character, I think. He would be so dark and so twisted, really.
He'd be great. Sorry, I'm rubbish at these questions. I worry about the answer too much.
Could I throw a quick name at the panel and just see whether you agree or disagree if we make a good addition? I think Jeremy Irons would fit the Game of Thrones verse. What do you guys think? Jeremy Irons, yeah? No. To what? He overacts. I've never seen Jeremy Irons overact in my life. get into this discussion later on.
He's been in everything, and I'm sure there's one genre show he's not allowed to be in. I'm sure Game of Thrones we can do without him, but he's a great actor.
Any more questions, guys? Any more? We are running out of time. I really don't want to be the one that asks the last question, because it's just going to be such an anticlimax. Oh, come on, you're just supposed to be fans of the show. Oh, yep, there we go. And what's that's the last question, so no pressure.
I don't know if it'll be popular. I just wanted to ask you all what your favourite job has been.
I used to work in a co-op. That was a real highlight of my life.
Well, I was a BT operator, believe it or not, and I also used to stack the toilet roll island Sainsbury's.
I used to work in a bar as well, which I really enjoyed. Game of Thrones.
Being an actor, playing Joe Gargery in Great Expectations. That was my favourite.
Here I go again, I'm panicking again. No, obviously Game of Thrones was great. I loved that character so much because she was so, I could play so many extremes and things. I do lots of independent stuff. So smaller things like I enjoyed Red Road, a film I did quite a few years ago, my very first film. A bit of a baptism of fire, but I loved it. And I think probably because I was completely clueless in a way and didn't really know what a close-up was or things, so I just kind of danced my way nearly through it. Been lucky in my jobs, really. Prometheus I enjoyed because I got to run around in a spacesuit and visit Iceland. It was great. So I really like all the jobs.
Guys,
being a chambermaid was horrible, but I won't go into that one.
That's alright. I don't want to end in a sour note.